welcome to day 5 of the Art for Your Soul. And in today's lesson, we're going to look at memory. We're going to reflect on memory, and what I want you to do is to spend some time thinking about a memory from your childhood, your adolescence, or from when you were in your 20s or 30s, something like that. A powerful memory that's positive. And I just want you to spend about 5 minutes really thinking about this memory, because when we can start to put in our feelings and emotions into our art, then something magical happens. It becomes really personal. And this can be whether we are just doing something for ourselves, or whether we are working towards an exhibition or a collective or something like that. So really spend this time, 5 minutes at least, just thinking about the memory. Think about what stands out. Think about the colours. Think about shapes and feelings and those sorts of things. And then go back to that exercise you did where you drew out the shapes and you put in colours, and think about connecting these memories to colours and see what happens. Now, it might be that nothing really happens, and but most people will have some kind of memory that connects them with a colour. And again, this is where all of the exercises that you've done so far are they're weaving together. They're weaving together. And this is where it becomes very, very powerful and very personal. Now, what I then want you to do after you've really thought about this, and give yourself time and space to really just think about it, and take out your journal and start to write down some of these thoughts, some of the things that have popped into your head. Now, it could be quite deep and meaningful and deeply spiritual, or it could be quite frivolous. And I was just sort of thinking, right, I will do this myself as well. I mean, it's the sort of thing that I do quite frequently, but I thought, no, I will deliberately do this. And when I was doing those shapes, the orange popped out. And then thinking about this one, thinking about memory, a funny memory popped into my head, a sweet memory. And my parents used to take me and my sister camping. And we lived in southeast England, in Kent, when we were growing up, when we'd moved out of London. And so we used to hop across the channel and go camping in France. And I remember my parents' tent really clearly. So this is in the 1970s, so we are talking a long time ago. The tent was lime green, but it had curtains. It had curtains. This tent had curtains, and these curtains had great big orange flowers on them. I have absolutely got to find an image of this. My sister has probably got one, actually. It's the sort of thing that she would have. So, and when I'm thinking about this, I'm reflecting on the memory. I'm thinking about the joy of family holidays, of camping in France and with mum and dad, and being outside and all of those, and then the colour of those curtains, because I think I always kind of didn't like them. Even then I just thought, really? No. So your memory could be a funny memory, it could be an endearing memory. It's yours. So think about this. And now decide what medium you want to use to create the essence of this memory. Now, when I say medium, you could use a mixed media, of course. So you could combine paint and collage, you could do drawing, you could do pen and ink, you could do watercolour, acrylics, pastels and crayons, whatever, felt tip pens, biro, it doesn't matter. You do whatever you want to do, and you might do a series of these. But what I want you to do is try to capture the essence of that memory. And you can add words, you can just create this visual memory. And you can just put in some details as and when they pop into your mind. Don't think about this too deeply on what it looks like. Focus on the emotions and the feelings and the colours and that kind of thing within your expressive piece. And take your time. Give yourself half an hour to an hour to do this. And then when you think you've done this, you can just come back to it and do a little bit more. Time to reflect. Time to reflect on how that made you feel, what came into your mind, what things you might want to explore further. And take care of yourself, because sometimes when we are thinking about the past, then not so good things pop up. So take care of your own well-being. And some emotions we need to come out, and some we don't really want to come out just yet because we're not quite ready. So when I'm thinking of this camping trip, one of the things that did pop into my head was we went camping with my grandparents, who are no longer with us. And so that was, yeah, I miss them. So just take care and look after yourself. But when you're creating, when we are working with our hands and going through this process, we can find a really deep connection with our own past and our own personal experience, and this can be hugely powerful. So off you go, and I hope you enjoy this one.
So I decided I would do some flower doodles inspired by those wonderful curtains. And my sister did remember them, but we couldn't find an original photograph. She is now on a hunt to find them, as I knew she would be. I thought I would just bring in these sort of oranges. So this, I've used a marker pen with colouring pencils, and then this one just using really, really bright colours. And I've used these sorts of ideas in my work a lot, and I really love them, just sort of combining the elements of colour and shape and pattern. And I hope you've enjoyed putting these ideas together, and I really hope that you, when you take your time to reflect on this day 5, that you're building on the things that you've done before. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.